Well, hello there. It's a fine rainy morning in Felixstowe. Dogs are shut. God, I'm bored. This is great. I sat in a queue outside the gate waiting to get onto the quay for ages, just to sit in a queue at THA. Oh dear, oh dear. Anyhow, but the weather is shit. I've just seen something on Facebook. Someone had pasted across a tweet from Police Scotland saying that they're going to continue to monitor social media and any offensive messages will be investigated. And this is what I've always said about, because people say to me, oh, the police will be watching your Facebook, the police will be watching your YouTube. Well, we know the police watch my YouTube because they've told me. But you know what I mean? Oh, you'll have people after you, blah, 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 And I say, great, that's brilliant, fantastic, because do you know what? All the stuff I'm putting up specifically regarding my local council, but I mean other stuff as well, the illegal parking bailiffs and all this, and bailiffs that work for the council and all this sort of thing who are all breaking the law. Fine, because they're only going to see stuff they don't like. But as with the bailiffs that work for the council, I reported them for, shall we say, improper practice to the police and the council when they were coming round my house when I wasn't even there, and posting demands through, adding money to the bill, which is completely illegal because no one was home, obviously. And they took no action. And this is what amazes me about the police, the way they behave. Again, I've just seen a video come back up this morning from one of these protest camps. I'm not sure if it was about fracking or something. But there's a copper, and he's on camera, this bloke, he's basically harassing, and he basically makes up a drink driving charge. The bloke stands there and says he's had 2 cups of tea, and the copper says, oh, you've just said to me you've had a couple of drinks and you've been driving. What? How can these people expect any respect at all when they behave like this? Just amazes me, So, seriously lost for words, actually, because all the other stuff aside, it's not just me that's going through this. There's various people, especially on Facebook, who I'm hooked up with, who have all got their own battles and stuff, and it's always the same story. The cover-ups, the lies, the independent investigation. Oh right, yeah, sure. I remember right back at the start of the council case, when I wrote to the council to say about the missing money. Now, I wasn't quite that naive. I didn't really expect them to do anything. But it was either... I sent them an email, I think. I'm not sure. But anyway, I either got an email or letter back the next day saying, oh, well, we've carried out a thorough investigation and there's nothing wrong at all. That's just blatant. How can you... 3 hours, I think they had, or something. How can you carry out a thorough investigation in 3 hours on something like 30 years worth of missing money from the accounts? I mean, it's just blatant. It's blatant corruption. They're waving it in our face for some reason. I don't know whether they think that. Well, they definitely think they're above the law, but I don't know whether they think it's going to do them any favours. Because you know what, guys, it's just going to piss people off, really. And then things like Cambridge Police saying my YouTube videos are harassment. Well, no, they're not really, because all I do in the YouTube videos is I pick a subject, be it the council or the police or the Newland bailiffs who work for the council, or pro-serve enforcement who do their illegal parking tickets down here on the docks, and I tell the story. I try and tell the story as it happens. I mean, obviously, it's going to be my version of that story. So perhaps it's not factually correct in that I'm missing details from the other side, you know, on how things are done. But well, there's an old expression, isn't there? Say it as you see it. So that's what I do. So that's not harassment, unfortunately, Chief Constable. You know, harassment would be carrying out a malicious prosecution against someone trying to expose fraud, like you did with me. and you know, here within lies where the authorities' downfall is, because they seem to think they can break exactly the same laws that they're telling us not to break, and they seem to think people will just wander off and be quite happy with some half-hearted gibberish explanation, like a sliding scale of offences considering this, that and the other. Well, no, lying to a member of the public as a police officer is not a sliding scale of offence, it's lying. Sorry, you know, but that's where you're at really with that one. So I just, you know, I'm a bit bored, to be honest, but I just wanted to have a bit of fun with this, because the police cannot see, several officers cannot see that they're going to end up going to jail over this for some reason, and several council employees cannot see for some reason that they're going to end up going to jail, because I say I'll be going to court soon against the bailiffs, so obviously my objective is to have their licence off them, which shouldn't be too hard considering the evidence I've already submitted. And there's some other stuff going on, you know, so it's really not looking good for the authorities. But what an absolute joke, honestly. The way they behave now is just, it's lies, it's just cover-ups. And they actually, you know, they think people are going to take them seriously. They think people are going to respect them. Well, you know, they're not. Basically, an ever-growing number of people just think the police are a joke. Everyone thinks, or a lot of people think, the councils are all corrupt. The MPs are the same, you know, with this Whitehall kiddie fiddling thing. Just like, oh, we lost that file. But you know, guys, you know, it doesn't matter. Okay, you might have genuinely lost it, but it doesn't matter. As soon as you say something like that, everyone's going to think that you're just covering it up. So it's the perception, really, of the thing that counts, rather than the reality, you know. I'm glad to say that a lot of people are supporting me on my case, and I do try and support other people who I see going through stuff if I can, given the constraints of my time with this lovely job. But yeah, just keep on fighting, guys, because the people who are lying are always going to get caught out in the end. And it really does, it just amazes me how the police still think they have any standing whatsoever in the society.